Back another edition of the Down and Back Cornhole podcast, and as I said last week, I said he was going to be on. So Dave Mayo, get your Kleenex ready again. He's always on this side now. The newest ACL Canadian Pro for 22-23 season, Mr. Deon Cuza. Deon, how you doing?
Good. Thanks for having me.
You rested up yet from that weekend?
I am rested up, but I'll be honest with you. It took me until Friday. Friday evening, I just collapsed. Friday evening, coming back and getting back to work, and then I went to the league night again on Wednesday and Thursday night. So Friday evening, I just came home and crashed. So I think I'm back to normal now, but it took a week to get over that.
Well, we kind of talked about it off air, and we'll kind of touch on it a bit later on, but. You're used to just a tournament is like one afternoon.
Yeah.
Not going from like Thursday to late Sunday afternoon, nonstop.
No, it was for us, we played here in St. John's on Wednesday night, and then we played at the warm-up tournament Thursday night. Then the tournament started again on like 4 o'clock on Friday, and that went to 10 or 11 o'clock on Friday night. And myself and Albert were back down at the event 7:45. He didn't want to be late, so and I think we were there until 11 o'clock on Saturday night, and then we went for wings and beer and stuff with the guys that we met, the other pro players, and so. And then Sunday back at it again and finished off with a barbecue. So it was it was pretty exhausting.
Exactly, yeah. So like I said, we'll get back to that there in a bit. But just so Cornhole, I know Sean messaged me when they first started getting on the go. But how did you get your start playing Cornhole? I know we've kind of talked about this here, but it's a fun story.
Yeah, no, I mean, for me, it was, guys home back in Point May, and, I give them a lot of credit, Clem Benta and Kevin Hillier. I just remember walking by some evening and see those guys up, throwing bags on a board, and really didn't know much about the game at that point in time. And, it's from that point forward, then I fell in love with the game. And, every time I go home, we have tournaments on his line, and that's for me, it's been a situation whereby, and if you're familiar with the weather here, the boards get damp in the evening, the bags get damp, the wind is blowing, so the heckling of the people, and just being around those guys and being over on his line till sometimes 2 and 3 o'clock in the morning was just unbelievable experience. And I mean, these guys are so much fun. Great sportsmanship, and coming from a small community, everybody would gather around to watch the games. And he's the kind of person that even myself being over there, he don't want you to leave. If you got to go and get some refill on some beer, he'll run the house and bring out all kinds of booze, because he absolutely loves the game as well. And so he'll try and keep me there as long as he can. But for me, that's where it all started. And even now, he reached out to me and said that he's ready for me. So it should be a great bit of fun.
Well, now for people who we do have a lot of Americans watching out there, but the Point May, and I went and checked, being with family being from Newfoundland, I went and checked, and Point May is just that little spot, and I can say right across the water from France. It's not that far, but people may not know how close it is to France because of St. Pierre Miquelon there. But just the size of the community that you do come from.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty small. I mean, everybody know everybody there, and growing up there was just absolutely fabulous. Nobody has to sleep with their doors locked. I mean, that kind of thing. It was different for me when I moved to St. John's back in 95, 96. But I mean, you go home now and everybody, it's like one big family, and a great community to be around and stuff. And even now for my son, when he would go out there, there's families that would feed him that he'd come home and say, "No, I already ate," and he didn't even know where he ate. He didn't even know the name of the person he ate, but they knew he was my son and stuff. So, that happens all the time, and it's, great people. And, there's a community center there that takes in a lot of involvement for darts and some cornhole and, stuff like that. So it's, and people like to be competitive in that as well. And again, it's the heckling that comes with it, and, the taunting on Facebook and stuff like that. So it's a great bit of fun. It's a great community.
Exactly. And we kind of talked, I did message you on Facebook. There was like, you're kind of like in Canada, we usually have the small town guy goes up and becomes a pro hockey player. We're now making it small town guy grows up and becomes a pro cornhole player.
Yeah, it's got a nice ring to it.
But, well, yeah. So, I guess I got to ask you here now, did you ever think, just playing cornhole back there in Point May, that it may even come to this?
No, I'll be honest with you, I never dreamed of it. And, for me, if we want to start talking about our league here, I remember coming across a Facebook status that there was going to be a cornhole league here in St. John's. And, I had reached out to Albert because, myself and Albert never really got to play a whole lot, against each other. There was, friends of mine would say, oh, we think Deon's the best, and friends of Albert's would say, well, we thinks Albert's the best. And, I did go over, I remember one time when the first times I played him, I went over his backyard and I didn't stand a chance. And, but the league then started, and, we got involved in the league and stuff. And, for me, it was all about playing it for fun. And, I had no idea what was going to transpire when I went to Niagara Falls. And, there was no talks of a spot or anything of that nature. I mean, for me, it was the virtual tournament that we had, shooting a 95, which was like the third highest at that time. I thought that, well, I can compete by the sounds of it. But again, that was against a camera. That was not against competition, the pressure, stuff of that nature. And, it's, and again, for me, this is all about fun. I mean, when the fun goes away from it, then it's probably not the right time to be playing. So I'm just going to enjoy it now and then see what the next steps are.
Well, and talking about your league, I know when Sean first started that league, I was like, holy cow. Well, I kind of knew that once he started getting something going in St. John's there, that they all like to go and have a good time. We all know cornhole's a good time, and that, but you guys were getting like a massive number. Like you guys were getting like almost like 40 people out a night when you first started.
Yeah, no, that's true. And I mean, Sean them now, I mean, hats off to Sean and Amber. I mean, the effort that they put into this, it's, it's not easy to run these leagues. I mean, they've now bought a new house, about a half hour outside of St. John's. So, I mean, they're committed now to a league in Holyrood on Tuesday night. They come in here on, Wednesday and Thursdays. They got to put up with trying to kick me and Albert out of the building down there come 11:30 at night, because we always want to play one more. And they basically had the hall cleaned up and the other boards put away until they had to take our boards that we finally give in. And, just acknowledging Sean and Amber, what they did, and, and for people who don't know, but, being named that the International Director of the Year for the ACL, it just goes to show the amount of dedication that they've put into the cornhole. And we torment Sean all the time and tells him that Amber actually won.
Well, I think we all know that Amber is the one that actually runs that, because if I ever message them about something, it's like Amber's the one that's responding to me. It's not Sean.
No, that's right. Yeah. And I mean, for anybody that want to come out to our league, I mean, there's a Facebook group there, the Cornhole NL. There's all kinds of, different calibers of players there. For myself, I try and grow the game, and so does Albert, and, others that I'll consider to be the stronger throwers. We try and help people out that are new and stuff of that nature. And, you've met Paula, and I mean, Paula was a lady there that really struggled and starting out, and, she kept coming back. And I remember one night, Paula had a tendency to just fire the bag either straight or it went up the ceiling. And I remember standing up in front of the two boards and telling Paula she got to put it over my head type thing, right, to get her used to that arc. And I think I had to duck a few times, but I tell people all the time that she is probably the most improved player that's in our league right now. And she went to Niagara Falls and she had a couple wins and stuff. So I mean, it was an excellent experience for her. So it was great.
Well, and that's the thing. I get notified when you guys go live every once in a while with the league, and that's the one thing I notice all the time is no matter what's going on, whether it's the 50-50, your airmail, or your championship league nights, everybody is laughing, having fun. There's, you start to get, with some of the leagues that kind of have been around for a while, you start getting those clicks with people, and these people are on, you get to be like that butting heads. But I have never seen that with you guys, although that, with family being from Newfoundland, I know that that's not the way that we are anyway.
Yeah, no, it's been tremendous. I mean, some nights they'll split the groups into two. Personally, for me, being on the higher end of the throwers, I mean, I feel privileged to play with the people who really struggle at the game, and and try and teach them, and sometimes we pull out the win, and they're so happy about it, and they've got 2 and 3 family members getting a picture of them when we get a picture took with the board, so you can tell that they're truly enjoying it. So for me, it's whether I'm playing at the high end caliber there or helping out the new people. I mean, it's for me, it's the side games that I enjoy more, and I keep telling people that. Me and Albert always have a game going on somewhere on the side. We may have to move boards, but the clothespins stay where we're to, and it might be an hour before we get back to it. And so that's the games that I find to be a bit more competitive and stuff in there, right? But yeah, from a Wednesday and Thursday night, it's a great bit of fun, and we're there to help people.
Yeah. So I mean, we'll fast forward then to you get up here, you land, and then you got to do the rush over to St. Catharines there on Thursday night, and then you walk in, and so what was your first thought walking in that first night? Because there was some of the Canadian pros were there, and then we had Sam Finley, who's one of the ones up from Florida that we all get to see on TV or on Facebook or whatever. But your thoughts walking into that venue that Thursday night?
Yeah, I mean, obviously we were late getting out, so we kept in contact with Brad. They delayed it for I think it was a half hour. We even gave Amber the notification that if you got to do your makeup, you might want to have the makeup in the car, because we could be going right on to this this warm up tournament. We may not have time to go back to the hotel, but I tell you, man, walking in there was just unbelievable. And to be honest with you, I felt nervous walking in there. I mean, for the first time ever, I'm stood in the room looking around, and I'm telling Albert, there's Dean Lang, there's Samantha Finley, there's Jamie Cowan, there's Matt Plaw, there's all the top cornhole players, in Canada, along with the female there, of Samantha being one of the top female, pros out of the US. And, myself and Albert joked about it after that. I think the first 4 bags we fired each, I don't know if either one of them stayed on the board, to be honest with you. But yeah, no, I have to say, I mean, I can't say enough for what Brad and the guys did, and approaching us and making us feel at home and having pizza and stuff there. And even before we went, that was the crowd that actually had a 50-50 draw to kind of help us with some of the funding and stuff. So if this tournament ever ends up in Newfoundland, we've got big shoes to fill. And I told the group that.
Well, and I kind of, like I said, like I've been watching you guys play. I've been keeping an eye on, no one else has. I've been keeping an eye on you guys, and I kept telling the guys, when they get here, watch out, because they're gonna sneak. They're not gonna sneak up on me. They're gonna sneak up on everyone else, because I've seen how good you guys were throwing. But that was the one thing I wanted to see with you guys, is because you've been just kind of having, for all intents and purposes, you're on an island on your own there playing, right?
Yeah.
But now it's kind of first in time with everyone else, and everyone kept coming over to me going like, these Newfoundlanders can throw, and I was like, told you so, you know.
Yeah, yeah. No, and I mean, also too having an opportunity to see Chris Kingsbury
Yeah.
shoot at that warm up, absolutely amazing. And his style of throw was something that I've never ever seen before. And you know, he actually showed it to us, and I think it's actually called the butterfly grip that he uses, and was just it was just amazing just to watch him. And I have my trophy, as you can see.
Yep.
Over so I end up with Brad, and we got third place. Albert and they lost a tough one. Albert and Bernie the Hat.
Yep.
They lost a real close one to Chris and Chris's partner, and Albert and they end up second. And I'll be honest with you, the expectation that came out of Thursday night, we got back into the hotel room. We were, if nothing else happened the rest of the weekend, we were quite content going home Friday, because given the plaques we had won and what we had seen there, and was just amazing. And I tell people too that I woke the next morning and I was in the washroom and I could hear tomp, tomp, tomp. And when I comes out, Albert is actually firing bead bags across the hotel room, butterfly style. So now he's saying if he can fire them like Chris Kingsbury is firing them. And no, just watch him play. I know we don't. He told me he don't have his pro status, but he ain't too far off. I can guarantee.
Oh, no. And I I've talked to people, and I know that Chris is actually going to be coming on the show. I talked to him about it, but
nice.
He even hasn't been playing that long.
No, I know.
And then makes you kind of, think, oh, okay, well, here we go. But so for you, I know you guys just sold the octane bags down there. The whole, I've been trying to get Sean to get you guys to more than just hole shots, because there's a whole other gamut than just hole shots. But you guys, with all the other bag styles that were there, or bag manufacturers that people were using that Thursday night, you guys had to be like kids in a candy store there.
Oh, that was amazing. I mean, like I said, like I tell people now, even since I've gotten home, is that the amount of the different style of bags and the speed of bags, the slick side versus the more sticky side, and the rating on them, whether they're a 5 versus an 8 and stuff of that nature. And I'll be honest with you, I had no idea.
I'm right with
you. Hole shot, what they're rated at. I mean, I just went down to a league and there was hole shot bags there, and I started using them. And even to see guys going around with a little trolley and having 4 or 5 sets of bags in there, depending on, I guess, the conditions at the time. If the inside happened to get her a bit damp, or he needs a slicker bag, and I'm just walking around with a 5-year-old hole shot shoved in my pocket, wondering if I'm playing next. So it was tremendous. And the other funny thing about it is the fact that myself and Albert probably spent 2 to 3 weeks at the league, because again, we go from board to board. We're using the same style bag, but if a bag is newer, he's a bit stiffer. So we were trying to figure out. We knew we were using hole shots because that's all we had.
Yep.
Now we're trying to figure out if we're going to use a new one, a medium, or an old one. So it was funny because we were kind of trying to build up nerve to ask Sean and Amber if we could actually borrow a set of the bags, because we didn't want to take bags from the league, even though I have new bags. But for me, I wanted the old ones. And I remember Sean, because me and Albert had a car rented, and I remember Sean asking me that him and Amber were coming on the same flight. So he said to us, listen, if me and Amber can get a ride with you and Albert to Niagara Falls, I can throw in a few bucks. I said, I don't want bucks, I want bags. So, and he actually told me I could keep the bag, so I still have the bag. So yeah, but no, I mean, I played against people down there that it was their own signature style bag that it was designed just for them, depending on how they like to throw. Timmy Jonas was one of them. His bag has a mixture of small beads and flat beads, and apparently the bag is designed that way to hit the board flatter. So it's I was blown away by the amount of bags, and even we even got a couple sets that were given to us. Halfpenny had given us a set, and I believe someone else had given us a set. So there's I think we got to do some experimenting here.
Yeah, so you go into the regular league night that you guys have, then there's a bit more board setup the Thursday night, then you walk in to the 40+ sets on Friday night. I'm sitting there. What was that like? Because I know for myself, walking to my first big event where Cherokee had, I think they had 100 sets up in 2 different rooms, but you walking into that on Friday night.
Yeah, I mean, words can't describe that. I even got butterflies there when I seen the ESPN setup that was going to be live on Saturday night, and I threw quite a few rounds on that, to be honest with you, and just tried to visualize, man, could this be like under the lights and stuff like that, right? And it was, that was tremendous. And for the team event, I mean, I had no idea how the team event worked. Obviously then we had 6 players, so you win 2 out of your 3 matches, you'd get to win. And myself and Albert, I mean, I think then we probably started to build a bit of confidence. I mean, our matches, and no disrespect to the other 2 teams, I mean, they shot unbelievable as well. But I think we were like 5-1, and I had a chance then to shoot against Eric Weersma.
Yep.
And then we actually had a rematch, and I think they were playing it a bit smart. They tried to avoid myself and Albert the second time around. So they were trying to figure right now, okay, we can beat them and this team can beat that team. So it was a bit of strategy there. So, but we never paid any attention to that, whoever they wanted to play against.
Yeah.
And also I got a chance to far against Michael. Very long last name.
Yep. Yeah.
Relic.
Yeah. I finally found out how to actually say it after 4 years of trying. So yeah. We just call him Moondog here. His nickname is Moondog. Moondog is much easier.
Yes. Okay. I'll have to remember that. Yeah. And the other thing is, we played that team event there, and the seeing Sean go to the finals there in the mixed, in the blind draw. Yeah. The blind draw was Saturday, right?
Yeah, Saturday night,
yeah. That was Saturday, yeah. Yeah, so back to Friday night, that was mind-blowing. And again, being able to watch people like Jimmy McGuffin, Farn, and you just can't take the smile off your face watching those guys shoot. It's absolutely incredible.
Yep. And the other thing is that, I say it on the show all the time, is they're so approachable as well when you want to talk to them afterwards.
Yeah. I actually said to him, I said, I was sat down there and I said, Jimmy, I said, I want you to play Albert, and you're only allowed to shoot airmails. And he went 19 for 20.
Yeah. And
then I said to him, I said, yeah, but you got good bags. You can't do that with Albert's bags. He took Albert's bag and he went 4 for 4.
Yeah.
So I said, Albert, there's nothing wrong with your bags.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's my issue as well. For me, it's the thrower as well. But yeah, so you get the team event done, then you come back on the Saturday, and you and Albert were in the doubles, and you guys didn't do too bad there either.
No, we actually done really well in the doubles. Now, mind you, our first match, and I didn't know these guys at the time, but our first match was actually against Bob Sperry and Eric Hauser.
Yep.
And before we started the match, I actually said to Eric that, or I actually said to Bob about the ESPN. I said, the ESPN there behind us. I said, man, there must be some pressure for people in there. And he was like, yeah, I got to go in there tonight. Yeah. And I was like, uh-oh. Yeah. But, me and Albert joked about it after. Like, I shot above 9, and Albert shot above 8, and we lost 21-9.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They were just unbelievable. And But I must say, I think there was 6 sets of rounders. I think we finished going 5-1.
Yeah.
And then we went, we went 3 or 4 deep in the brackets, until we hit, the pros again. But, Albert was just on fire in the doubles. I have to truly say. I mean, he bailed us out a few times. It was amazing, actually. He shot really well.
Yeah, and then gets started. You guys, the 4 of you, Sean, Amber, Albert, and yourself there, you guys got more FaceTime on the TV than I did. So I just got to talk. You guys were showing more on the TV.
Yeah, yeah. And I don't know if they captured this, but one of the funny things was, so Albert ends up playing with Bernie the Hat on Thursday night, and he has no idea, and neither did I, that Bernie is actually a pro player.
Mm-hmm.
So at one point in the game, Bernie wants to throw an airmail, and Albert talks him out of it and tells him he should just lay it on the board and get the point. And while we're watching the ESPN live on TV, Bernie hits 3 airmails.
Yeah. And
I turned to Albert and I said, "And you wouldn't let him shoot an airmail in the warm-up."
Yeah. So, and I think that was a great event because you guys got to be able to watch some of the best players in the States play against some of the best players here in Canada and just see that, it's I don't want to say there's nothing to it, but it's still just watching them, you kind of almost get better yourself.
Yeah, I found myself just watching their movements and how they reacted and, stuff like that, like studying them. I found myself. And, boy, I'll be honest with you, I felt nervous in the bleachers. So, hopefully I'll get an opportunity at some point. But, I thought every one of them shot really, really good, really well. And, obviously the big shots there were the Timmy Jonas with the 2 airmails, and then Jamie with the 3-bagger there. That was, they were unreal shots.
Yeah, like I said on air, that those are my nightmares. I get to deal with that, him doing that to me every night when I'm up at the garage. But it's, it was one thing. So then we get done Saturday night. You go out and have some fun on Saturday night.
Saturday night was a blast, and Jamie Cowan had texted me and said, "Listen, we're out for some beer and wings. Why don't you guys come out?" And so we went out, and Jordan Power was there, and Jimmy McGuffin, and the Hat, and all of the big pro players there. And it sounded like you didn't catch on when Jamie had mentioned about the wet naps there, but yeah, he's just an absolutely crazy, messy eater that I've ever seen. And he asked for a roll of paper towels, and he took everybody's wet naps because every time he finishes one hot wing, he has to completely clean himself up before he takes a drink. So that
I have seen that man eating. Yeah, I think all the time he is a complete mess. But that's another story. But then so you have late night and I was texting with Jamie as well too, but he gave me the wrong place.
Oh,
so there's that. So you get late night Saturday night, then we're back Sunday morning for the big day for the singles. And as I said, and we talked thereafter. We found out all the big news of later on Sunday night. But you sat there, and I was with you when you got that text for that first game, that your first rounders game. You're playing Timmy Jonas, and you kind of said to me, "Oh, I'm in trouble."
Yeah, I did, and we were down there early as well. I mean, and the reason for me telling you this now is because there is a catch to it. But we were probably down there at 9:30 that morning, and we had thrown a lot of bags, myself and Albert. So I was warmed up, and I was ready to go. Obviously, it was a bit of I went there with the hopes of being able to play into Tier 1. Regardless of what had happened, I wanted to go there, and I wanted to do well, and I wanted to play against the best people that were there. And that happened. But yeah, getting that first text message and realizing that you are playing the pro from Saturday night who have just won on ESPN, that wasn't a very good feeling. But I know we've mentioned this a couple of times that I end up beating them 21-15. But if I fast forward, I probably played maybe 5 or 6 matches, and maybe we can get back to the other matches later. But I probably beat 5 or 6 people, and then I had to play Timmy Jonas again. And this time it was just completely lights out. You could see why he's one of the best players in the world. And I don't recall during the game ever really having much of an opportunity to even get points. It was a situation whereby I had last bag, and it seemed like I had to put that bag in the hole to kind of draw even. Yep. It'd be a scattered. He's getting 1, he's getting 2. It was like dying a slow death. I mean, the second match, he was just completely lights out. And I'll be honest with you, I believe it or not, but I actually learned a lot from that match, because when the match was over, I actually said to him, I said, I actually had to ask you what happened to you in that first game. And he didn't want to discredit the way I shot or anything of that nature, but one of the things he was honest, and he told me he got there about 10 minutes before that match. And he said, when you play at this level, if the body is not ready and if the mind is not ready, he said, people will beat you. Mm-hmm. And, to me, even though I lost the match, I felt as if I learned something through defeat. And, but again, just a pure gentleman. And all of them were. I mean, they give you that advice and stuff and that, right? And that was one of the things that, even though I lost that match, I don't know, 21-2, 21-3, I think I walk away learning something, that if you're not ready, people will catch you off guard.
Well, exactly. And when you talk to all the pros, and that's them, that they say that, they're practicing a couple hours a day, each week. And it's just, you almost have to stay on that kind of regimen of just really trying to keep up.
No doubt. It was, after I had won that first game, and it's easier for me to say now, but just being totally honest, is that I had pulled Dave Mayo aside, and I've asked Dave to keep Team Newfoundland away from me.
Yep.
I can't explain it, but I had a feeling something special was happening, and I got into a routine. Sounds as if Jamie had noticed it, because he would see me by myself, whether it was in the lobby, whether it was just sat down with nobody around, and I would warm up again. I would go get a bottle of water, and I had this routine. At no point did I ever check the brackets. I had no idea how far back in the bracket I was. I had no idea who I was playing next, because I didn't want to do that, because I know what would have happened. I'd been keeping an eye on that match, and it may have been intimidating depending on how they shot. So, and it doesn't change anything. So yep. I just mentally prepared and physically prepared, and the next, I'll say 5 or 6 matches, I handled pretty good. But again, they were great players, and I was shooting well. I never, and I'll be honest with you, when the announcement was made that the top Canadian would be given a pro card, I hadn't heard that, because again, I was out in the lobby.
Yep.
So I was actually approached by Eric, where's my other Canadian pro, and my Moondog. I'll call him Moondog, because it's easier to pronounce. On 2 separate occasions, they actually pulled me aside and said, we think you can do it. So just go there and just go out and have fun and shoot. And I felt very confident. I honestly have to say, I was not one bit nervous through it all. And, I would think that probably the turning point the biggest match that I had there that I won, other than the Timmy Jonas match, was was another guy out of Buffalo. I think his name would have been Paul.
Yep.
But yeah, so he plays out of the league with Bob Sperry.
Yep.
And
Yeah. Paul via piano. Yep.
Yes, that's the guy. Yes. So we had a hell of a match, and it was actually 18-17 for him. And that was the only bad round he had shot. His first bag had hit what people call the dead zone on the board, and the bag actually stopped in his lane, and I had a clear path to the hole. So after he had his 4 bags shot, he had 1 in the hole and 3 on the board. I had 3 of mine in the hole, which meaning now I'm at 20 points. So I have the winning bag in my hand, and all I could think about was, don't throw a corn dog. I've been waiting to say that. So yeah, I said, this bag cannot come up short. So I just threw it like the rest of them. Luckily enough, that one went in the hole, and I end up winning. And I think that's probably in the same bracket, I'll say, where Dean Lang ended up losing at that point. So,
well, yeah, because they weren't, Team Newfoundland wasn't going to you, but they were all coming to me.
Yes,
they were saying to me, what's going on here? And I was kind of paying attention a bit, and I'm kind of looking around like, okay, well, that's when there was 3 of you left. There was yourself, Dean Lang, and Dave Dunlop. And Dave and Dean were playing right in front of me. So I seen Dave had a really hard game against Nicole Pratt, who's Timmy Jonas's girlfriend, who she throws lights out as well. I seen that he lost, and then Dean was playing Christine Papke on the live feed that I was calling. I seen that he had lost, and I was kind of looking for you, and you weren't at the board anymore. I knew that you were close with Paul, but you were gone from the board, and I was like, okay, what happened there? And I was sitting with Brad, and I'm like, we're trying to figure out what was going on, and then and we laughed because it was Jordan Power and Jimmy McGuffin were playing their King Seat game in their thing, and they made the announcement, and then Team Newfoundland lost it. They just you can hear it everywhere. And Jordan Power and Jimmy both stopped and were like, "What's going on here?" I'm like, don't worry, that's one of our guys. But yeah, I kind of known just before he made the announcement, and I was like, I was there. But we go back that 4 months ago, you asked me what do you need to do, and that's we said before, and it was like you put the work in. You had already did the work, and you put the work. That's why I really love that you went and kind of grabbed that and took it.
I appreciate
it. Right? Mm-hmm. It's not just that with my roots in Newfoundland and kind of I'll say it now. I was cheering for you to get it, but it's just the way that you went about it, and then you just kind of went and just kind of took it yourself.
Yeah, no, yeah, like I said, I mean, I had reached out because, I knew there were some things you could do virtually, which is the deck arounds. And, from what I had heard, you had to do 3 deck arounds shooting above 90. So I had done that, a couple of times. I had beaten the Ghost 9 a few times. So I was thinking to myself, well, maybe if there's some way I can set this up virtually and show these guys how I can shoot, then I can potentially get a pro status out of it. So that was the kind of route I was taking. I had no idea, what was going to transpire this weekend. And, it's not like we were going up there and people were saying that there's a pro card on the line. That wasn't even announced till Sunday morning.
Yeah. I kind of known about it, but I wasn't allowed to say anything. Right. But it's, and that's,
and
that's having this big event.
I mean, a lot of people are, reaching out to me, and but what I did, that could have easily been Albert. I mean, it was just a matter of being in the right bracket, the right slot at the right time, because I mean, certainly don't want to overshadow how well Albert had shot up there in the doubles, and finishing 13th overall. I mean, that was incredible. And I mean, the same guy that knocked me out knocked him out. So it could have been me first and then he second, and he would have had it. But I truly believe he's next to get it. And he beat Jamie in the in the singles. So I mean, he's shown as well that he can compete with those guys, right?
Exactly. Yeah. So you and I do the video, right? And then all of a sudden we start watching those views roll. And then we went to the barbecue after I got done tearing everything down, and we're watching, going like, we're at 1,500. Oh, 2 minutes later, we're at 2,000, and we just started watching that there. But then you then started getting messages yourself as well, and just talk about the support you've got since you got back.
Oh, it's been unbelievable. I mean, they decorated the office at work, and they gave me a cake. One a good buddy of mine has already reached out regarding sponsorship, and I have no idea what to expect from this and stuff. And the outpouring of support has just been unbelievable. And funny enough, I mean, obviously, you're not used to kind of being in the spotlight or nothing of that, and that's not who I am. But I even had a guy that came over knocked on our hotel room door and asked if he could get a picture took with me, because his daughter asked if he had won, and he said, no, I didn't win, but the guy who won, the guy who got the top Canadians across the hall from me. So she asked if he could get a picture. So he came over and wanted the picture took and stuff. So that was pretty cool. And the support even from Team Newfoundland and all of them there that were crying, and I mean, they handed me a phone, and my wife was on there, and she was crying, and it was actually overwhelming, I must say. And what Brad and him done after back at the hotel room, I can't be thankful enough for what him and his father and you guys did with the barbecue and the cheesecake and the music, and it totally blew away my expectations. And if I'd have went up there and didn't win a game, I would have felt the same way. I truly believe that incredible people.
Well, I know in talking with Brad, and I did kind of know about the barbecue ahead of time, because him and I had talked, because because he said, him being a Newfoundlander as well, that's what we do, right? If there's someone comes from away, because that's what we do, you're gonna take them in, right? It didn't just happen that one day back in 2001. That's what Newfoundlanders do all the time. It's just, you take people in, and you're just just the happy people.
Yeah, no doubt. It was, even when I walked in there for Audie, I mean, I had never met him, but people know how lovable Brandon Brown is. I mean, he came up and gave me the big hug, and so happy to see us there. It was, and I mean, his wife, she's the only female pro player, I do believe, in Canada, and I actually had an opportunity to shoot against her, and I remember making my shot, and the next thing you know, the bag just blows by my head, and then I realized she actually shoots from pretty well behind the board, and I was like, honey, you can move up about 4 feet. But that's the way she shoots. And it's incredible. You do see some weird, not weird, but different throwing techniques. And Timmy Jonas, he's another one. He's like a sidearm. I was blown away by it.
Well, exactly. Yeah, it's almost like pitching, because we talked about you being a pitcher, because it seems like everyone that becomes a pro in cornhole has always had a sports background, and you have that as well too.
Yeah, no, I mean, growing up in a small community, I mean, sports was our life, really. I mean, you didn't have money to kind of do anything with, so you took a hockey stick and went on the road, or you took your glove and you went on the field from daylight to dark. And I truly believe through all of them sports, that has really helped, my hand-eye coordination and stuff and that, right? And the other thing is too, I mean, we're back in a small community. I mean, softball was our life, and I mean, playing in a men's league at 13 and 14 years old, I truly believe too that helped with, the pressure. Because again, in these small communities, back in the late 80s, early 90s, the winning softball team, they drove around the community up in the box of a truck with a trophy, and everybody wanted to be a part of it. And the crowds that would watch these softball games were tremendous. So, I mean, pitching under them circumstances at 14, 15, 16 years old, and, dealing with people that you looked up to for softball. I mean, it was, Jerry Strickland's and, these kind of people. It was amazing. And I truly believe that being involved with stuff like that in an early age really helped to handle the pressure and stuff, right?
Yeah, well, it's and that thing is that whole. I want to say it's an internal battle with yourself, but cornhole is a game against yourself.
Yeah, certainly
right?
is.
It's you gotta and I kind of mentioned before, people think it's just throwing a bag 27 feet at a hole, but there's a lot more. And like the mental game is more than what you actually think about.
Yeah, no, yeah, it's for me in between games, the rest, the mental side, just to relax and kind of wind down. I mean, like I say, for me, it was the fifth straight day of playing cornhole, and the bottom of your feet was sore. I'll be honest with you, so anytime you could physically take a break, mentally take a break, I did it, type thing, right?
Yep. So I want to thank you for coming on, but we got to do one last thing first, and that's because you're going to be getting some. We got to take care of the sponsors, and for me, that is, I think this one here may be one of your sponsors coming up. I'm not sure. I've already kind of talked to the guy.
Oh.
Octane Cornhole, octanecornhole.com. Discount code CornDuck will get you 10% off of any of the bags, because we know Deon needs new bags, because now he's a pro, the whole shots are gone. We got to get you some of the pro style bags, but check out octanecornhole.com. Then if you really want to concentrate and you want to be like Steve Pohl on ESPN, you got to get the earbuds in to get concentrating. Go to myearfun.com, discount code CornDuck there, get you 20% off of your earbuds, or when you're in Newfoundland, you need a waterproof Bluetooth speaker. That's it. I've been there. I know there's a lot of water. Get them. Then you need a set of boards. If you're not getting them from Sean in Newfoundland, you got to go to JC Cornhole. Help Jamie out, as he says, it's a GoFundMe for him, but you got to get him to all these other tournaments.
That's right.
JCcornhole.com for those there. Still no discount code. If you talk to him, if you mention my name, like I said, he may charge you more. I'm not sure. And then one of my favorites here is if you're in Alberta, Edmonton, Sherwood Park to be exact, as I always say, a former Newfoundlander there living there. Check out Darren with Sierra Property Inspections. It's going to come up in the bottom here, sierrahome.com. Portion of what you pay will go to a children's cancer hospice in the Edmonton area, which is a fantastic thing that he does, just because our family's been touched by childhood cancer. So it's a thing that he does. Then if you don't want to throw octane and you want to throw the fire bags or the local bags or the BG shapeshifters, and you're in Canada, you can only get them. It's only for Canadians, so you don't have to worry about getting trying to fight the Americans to get the shapeshifter bags if you want to pay that much. Check out csccornhole.com, Cornhole Supplies Canada, to get all of your cornhole needs there. And then the most important thing, I almost forgot, for the octanecornhole.com, there's going to be a link down below. Get your down and back jersey. Help out the show by getting your down and back Cornhole podcast jersey. And I know that next time, Deon, that you're on the show, you're going to be talking about all the sponsors that you have, because people are going to be wanting to sponsor you, because we're going to be seeing more big things for you coming up.
And if I could just say one other thing, Doug, I didn't want to pass up this opportunity, but when I was up there last weekend, I just want to throw this out there that my first cousin Raymond was dealing with the sudden death of his 3-year-old little boy. So I want to say that I was certainly thinking of you and your wife and your other kids, and to Aunt Bert and Uncle Marcel and family. I love you guys, and it was truly on my mind.
Well, you know what? And then you know what? And that's the thing, that the stuff that we don't really know, that even we're just playing cornhole. There's all other stuff going on, and like that, we had one of our players from our own league. His father passed away while he was actually playing. He got the phone call while he was playing. So it's it's the stuff that we all deal. And the cornhole is a family. It's not just the Newfoundland cornhole family. Cornhole as a whole is just a big family. We all stick together, and we're all kind of there for each other. So Deon, this is not the last time you're going to be on this show. I know you're going to be back talking, and everyone check out Cornhole Newfoundland on Facebook. So we Cornhole NL, check that out, because we know that Amber does a whole lot of work to keep that going, and Sean just plays sometimes. So,
no, I appreciate it.
As always, watch out for those players like this man right here throwing gas, because he probably will just kick your ass.